Welcome back to my channel. I'm James. Today I've got some big, exciting reviews and we're going to be deep diving into this big stack of 8 4K Ultra HD releases that I dived into and tested for all of you. Today I'm going to be doing my exclusive 4K versus Blu-ray image comparisons on some of these and letting you know the quality differences in the sound and image quality between each of these releases and their previous home video Blu-ray releases, and how they stack up, if any of these are worth buying and adding to your collection. I always give you my sum up total review score at the end of each of the reviews as well, to let you know how these compare to hundreds of other 4Ks I've tested and reviewed here on my YouTube channel. Now, it's very important if after you get done watching this review and hearing the review scores for each of these, you decide you want to buy or add any of these to your collection, I've done all of the work for you and included the direct Amazon sale links as a pinned comment in the comment section right below this video. Those links down there never cost you, the viewer, a penny extra, but they do help to support the creation of all of this exclusive content you watch here on my channel. So by simply clicking on those Amazon sale links down there below, it shows your support of these videos. So if you decide you're going to buy or add any of these to your collection, always go down and use those direct Amazon sale links I posted right down there below. Now, to start off today, we're going to be comparing the previous Blu-ray release of Kung Fu Panda. Now, Kung Fu Panda did come out in 2008, and the CGI for the time was very, very good. I mean, even today it holds up very well. The previous Blu-ray release, it's a decent looking Blu-ray. I've enjoyed it. It's been one of those films that is a very funny film, and it holds up to the test of time very well. Now, for the new 4K release, it did get a new 4K transfer and HDR10 master. I will tell you the HDR10 master that they did for this is where you will notice a big improvement in colors, the color tones, the variations, and overall color depth are drastically improved on this 4K release versus the previous Blu-ray, as you're noticing in those native image comparisons up above. Both the native image pulled from the Blu-ray in comparison to the 4K, there's much more depth in the 4K and detail. Though keep this in mind, for a film that came out in 2008, it is always limited by the CGI advancements for a computer animated film of that time, which means the details that exist in that file, this is the most depth and detail they can pull from that file that's presented on this 4K release. And there isn't any more depth or detail they can pull other than what's present in the file itself. I can tell you though, you will notice a lot of things like the hairs on the panda and all the hairs on a lot of the animal characters throughout it. You can see so much more detailed and clarity in those, and much more of the varying shades of those hairs than what you ever could on the previous Blu-ray release. And that's what'll really stand out for you when you start watching this, is colors. That HDR10 implementation was done very well on this. Now, as I mentioned previously in like my Shrek 2 reviews, Puss in Boots, I've done Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and there's a lot of those available here on this channel right now if you want animated films. Well, as I've talked about in those before, they're limited by the time period when they were created, by the depth and detail that's in them. But on these 4K releases, Universal's been doing a very good job providing every ounce of what's available in those files, that you can see things on this that you never could see on that previous Blu-ray. And I will tell you, it does provide a very beautiful looking 4K image that if you've seen this film, you'll be really impressed with just the overall beautifulness of it. It was already pretty on the Blu-ray. This takes it to a whole new level, and they did a very good job with the lights to darks and the colors, and there's no issues with any black crush, but it does have that brilliant white and inky black experience that you never had on the previous Blu-ray release. Now, there is another treat we get on this. We get a brand new English Dolby Atmos audio mix. I can tell you is extremely clear, clean, and crisp sounding. It has very good range, and I will tell you it uses the height channels very surprisingly well throughout the entire film. There is tons of things that give your height channels little workouts throughout it. It's not reference quality Dolby Atmos mix, but it is very good, very immersive, and very enjoyable to listen to. And I will tell you, it added a whole nother layer of depth to the film that I hadn't ever experienced before, where I really felt like I was sitting more inside this animated comedy and really enjoying everything going on around me and above me. And that's what I'm looking for out of a Dolby Atmos audio experience. This one did a very good job with it, and just for the Dolby Atmos alone, regardless of the other upgrades, It was worth it for the price of admission just for that experience because this is such a funny and really good animated family comedy film. Now, showing what you get in this, you do get this nice embossed slipcover. It's got really metallic, shiny artwork on it. It does include a short film, The Secret of the Scrolls. I do like that that's included in this. That's a new feature created for this 4K release. On the side, it does say Kung Fu Panda. Then on the back, it talks about it. It does include all of the original special features that were on the original Blu-ray release, which you'll understand why in a minute, plus the new bonus features they included on the 4K disc. Now, I will answer a question I got a lot of is, are they planning on doing a Kung Fu Panda box set of 4K films? As of right now, no. It's the same thing that applied to like Shrek 2 and Shrek 1, and obviously the Puss in Boots. They have not combined those into a box set because it is one of those things we're talking by the time they release all of the films in this, we're talking several years from now. So as of right now, it's not something Universal's done with any of the Shrek films, Puss in Boots, and it's not something they have planned for these films either. They're just planning to release them in these individual releases alone. Now, as I was saying, inside here, it does include your original Blu-ray disc. You do not get a new transfer, it's the original same old Blu-ray disc, so all your same special features are included. This is your new 4K disc. Your new 4K disc is a BD66, and it is 100% region-free. You will have no issues playing it anywhere worldwide. So that Amazon link I posted down below ships anywhere worldwide, and you won't have any issues playing this whatsoever. Now, I did dive into and test out the rough average bitrate for all of you, and I am happy to report this has a 51 megabits per second rough average bitrate. I can tell you for the short that's included in here, it's very enjoyable and adds to the overall universe. I will tell you though, this film is one of those really good comedic family CGI comedies that no matter how many times I watch it, I still sit back and I laugh every time. And I'll tell you, going back and watching it again, it's one of those that I said holds up very well, that your family can enjoy it and you can enjoy it as an adult as well. The CGI animation is very good in it. I will tell you there are a few scenes that you can tell lack depth and detail in the CGI animation, not because of the 4K release itself. So keep that in mind. That's because of the file itself, the CGI, unless they went and redid them all over again, which is never going to happen. Now, getting to my review score for Kung Fu Panda on 4K Ultra HD, this gets a very good 9.0. It's a must buy you're going to want to have in your collection. You'll enjoy experiencing this film in the best quality it's ever been available on home video. Audio was worth the price of admission alone. The increase in what you can hear in the range on it was very surprising, let alone the depth and detail and the colors that HDR10 really pop off of the screen. And if you have an OLED, wow, are you in for a treat. And OLEDs really just provide a really deep sense of colors and just overall it's beautiful looking. You'll get that from this. And I am happy to report it's a very nice, healthy improvement over the previous Blu-ray in every single area and massively blows away the audio with the amazing Dolby Atmos mix they included on this, especially because I really love how it used the height channels in this. It's a good release that I recommend adding to your collection. You'll enjoy this release, and it'll be one you'll come back to year after year and enjoy watching. It's such a funny comedy film. This is one of those that was a really worthwhile upgrade that is a must-buy you'll want to have in your collection. If you decide you're going to buy this and add this to your collection now, I've put that direct Amazon sale link right down there below. Now, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to give this video a like and a thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. Just like with this video, I dive into and do these exclusive image comparisons for you, so you never want to miss out on any of this content here on this channel. So make sure to go down there, give this video a like and a thumbs up for me, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. Next, we have the Ring 3 movie collection. These films ran from 2002 to 2017. I will tell you the first two films I really enjoyed. The third one I hadn't seen until recently. And I will tell you the first two still are my favorite films out of this basically rebooted, remade franchise from the original films that were released many years ago. I will tell you personally, I really like Naomi Watts' character in these a lot. I really think she's really good in them. And I've always really enjoyed the films themselves. And I can tell you I own them on previous Blu-ray editions as well. There's been several different ones in different territories and countries. I own the one from the US, the one from the Australia, and things like that. I will tell you the Blu-ray releases were never amazing though. None of the transfers on Blu-ray were really good looking. A lot of them had edge enhancement and digital noise, and they just honestly did not have an amazing image at all. There's numerous soft scenes, and it goes to really bad and poor looking scenes, and I always felt like the colors looked slightly off as well. Well, here's the good news. For this horror franchise, it did get a brand new 4K scan and 4K restoration of the original camera negative. And they did a brand new Dolby Vision and HDR10 color grading and master. That's where for like the first film, you notice a big difference in comparison to the previous Blu-ray release. On the previous Blu-ray release, it had a very dark and deep green tint to everything. And I mean dark and deep green. The second you put in the new 4K transfer and what they did for this new 4K restoration, it was approved by the original director, Gore Verbinski himself. And the reason these got delayed so many times is because of his involvement. He wanted to make sure it represented his original intended vision. This is his intended vision, how he wanted this to look on home video, that basically it hasn't had since it was originally released on home video. On this, you get more of a teal, lighter teal look to it with some greens in throughout it as well, but it's more of a teal presentation than what you got on the darker green previous Blu-ray release, which the darker green was hard to see. I mean, a lot of it was very hard to watch because it was so heavily dark green. Everything kind of looked like vomit almost, and just, I mean, honestly, it really did not look good on the previous Blu-ray transfers at all. Thankfully on this, with the new native 4K 2160p, and that Dolby Vision HDR10 and that new color grading looks very good on it. I will tell you, the depth and detail is surprising on this. I was surprised at how much better it looks, more filmic. It does have the natural film grain from beginning to end. Both The Ring and Ring 2, they look very good. I will tell you for the third film though, for Rings, it does have a brand new 4K master that was done for it as well. And I will tell you that one looks pretty dang impressive as well. Now, the only issues I encountered with the image when I went through testing all three of them is in the first film. There is some brief digital noise in a few scenes with some very brief clumping of the film grain. That's about it. Otherwise, the image, it does have very nice film grain from beginning to end with a lot of strong depth and detail that is very enjoyable to watch. I was amazed at how enjoyable it was when, honestly, I really didn't enjoy the previous Blu-ray releases because of how bad I really felt they looked. And because of that amazing Dolby Vision HDR10 implementation, for every film in this box set, you do get very good inky blacks, brilliant whites, and zero black crush. Not a single instance of black crush. It shines through so well with the brilliant whites and inky black that honestly, couldn't believe how pretty it was to watch. Films that, I mean, they're a horror franchise that you never really thought of them as being pretty until you see them in this, and the depth that you can see on their faces and the pores and their hair and their clothing that you never saw ever before is very surprising on these 4K releases. Now, before we get into the argument of, oh, they slightly changed the colors on it, that is intended to be the director's intended vision. What he originally envisioned when it originally came out in cinemas, they got changed on home video. So a lot of people like to argue, oh, it's supposed to be this, it's supposed to be that. Well, you know what? The original director was involved in this, and this is exactly what he wanted, so it's his vision. Now, for The Ring and Ring 2, we get an English DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 audio mix. It is very clean, it is very clear, and I will tell you, the sound is an upgrade over the previous Blu-ray releases as well. These had issues with fluctuations, where you'd have to turn it up, turn it down, a lot of issues with instabilities in the audio mix. Those are gone and fixed on this. It does have a very nice, clean, and clear audio mix that has very good range, and it still has that thump that honestly was missing on a lot of the previous Blu-ray releases. Man, when those scare jumps come, you really feel them in this, and that's what I really was missing. Now, I will tell you for the third film in here, Rings, it does come with an English DTS HD Master Audio 7.1 mix. That one was very good as well. Same thing, it had very good clarity, and it does have a very good thump to it as well. Now, showing what you get in this collector's box set, I love how they did this as a hard box. It's just like the JFK set I previously reviewed on this channel. If you haven't checked out that review, it's available right now as well. It comes in the exact same box set. Personally, I think that Shout Studios needs to release all their collector set in these hard boxes, because I really like these, and I like them better than the like thin, like slipcover ones they do. This is the way I like them because they really do protect them. It's shiny, really shiny, glossy. Side, it says the Ring Collection on it. It is a 6-disc set in here. So you get all 3 films in here, and then you get 3 Blu-rays as well. So 3 4Ks and 3 Blu-rays. And I will tell you, you get some of the different cuts of the films, like Ring 2, you get the unrated cut, but that's on the Blu-ray disc. The theatrical cut is the one that they had all the elements for. That's what's on the 4K disc. Now for the Ring, this is what you look like for the case. On the side it says the Ring. Back it talks about it. You get behind the scenes, commentaries, theatrical trailers, cast and crew interviews. Those are all included as special features on here. Now, when you get inside here, you do get your Blu-ray disc and your 4K. I did test them both as I always exclusively do. Blu-ray is 100% region A locked. 4K disc is 100% region free. Now for Ring 2, artwork on it, says the Ring 2 on the side. Talks about on the back, same types of things. You get behind the scenes, deleted scenes, fear on film, talking with the cast, the making of Ring 2, theatrical trailers, a massive amount of special features. Then when you get inside here, Blu-ray and 4K. 4K's region free, Blu-ray's region A locked. And then for the third film in the trilogy, Rings, obviously on the side it says Rings, back it talks about it. You do get deleted and extended scenes, including an alternate ending. Terror comes back full circle, talking about the film, resurrecting the dead, scary scenes, theatrical trailers, and a bunch more. I will tell you, I think they did a very good job with the special features in this set. You do get inside here your Blu-ray 4K, same thing, region free, region A locked. So your Blu-ray, those are the discs inside this set. All of the Blu-rays are region A locked. Now, I did dive into and test out the rough average bitrate. I can tell you, for all the films in this set, they had a shockingly high, healthy, and strong rough average bitrate range between 88 to 101 megabits per second. Wow. It was a shocking experience. I was amazed at how high, healthy, and strong the rough average bit rates were for every single one of the films in this box set. They did an outstanding job on the rough average bit rate, not over compressing it, giving it plenty of room to breathe, which is why the details and how amazing looking these films are on this 4K set is a big, shocking surprise. I will tell you, I enjoy the Ring films. I think they are a great horror trilogy. I do think they do a very good job giving you jump scares without being too over the top. I think it does a great job without having all the gore side of things. It's just mostly a really creepy thriller mystery. Keeps you guessing the whole way. You're wondering what's going to happen. The jump scares are great in it. They are rated PG-13, and I think every single one of them is a very enjoyable film, though the first two are my favorites. The third one is the weakest of them. These are not being sold separately. That's another big question. These are only being sold in this complete box set. So if you want to own these films with this brand new 4K restoration, the only way to own them is by buying them in this complete box set. Now, a recommendation of another really good horror film that really fits in line with like this kind of more lighter horror series where it's more a mystery without any of the gore, just more or less a really intriguing mystery thriller, is The Others. If you haven't checked out that, I did the complete in-depth analysis of the Criterion Collection The Others versus the previous releases. I will tell you, it's not into all of the gore, but it's more into the mystery thriller side of it, which is what I really enjoy. And I will tell you that The Others is one of those you need to check out as well. I really think the twist of this horror series that got me was the videotape, how basically the VHS gets passed around, and once you watch it and 7 days later, they die. And I think that mystery and that hook is why this series has really intrigued me for years to come, is because you watch it every time and it's such a creepy idea that how many VHSs, I grew up all the time having VHSs, that you'd find one that would have some random recorded footage on it, and it plays on that element so good, and it's so creepy, all of those things, that it plays off of that people do really die, and is it in their minds? Is something really happening? And that's where I feel like the hook for this series is one of the best horror hooks I've ever seen in a horror series. If you have not experienced this yet, it is a very good thriller horror mystery that honestly, once you watch the first one, you're going to want to watch the second one immediately following it. Now, getting to my review score. For the Ring Collection on 4K Ultra HD, this gets a stellar 9.5. It is a must buy. You need to buy and have in your collection. It absolutely annihilated every single Blu-ray transfer before. You will never want to watch any of the poor Blu-ray transfers in comparison to how stellar and outstanding the 4K transfers are, including the nice upgrade in the audio as well. The fact that they fixed a lot of those instabilities in the audio and now it has such a nice, clean, and like I said, a good thump that it was missing before, this is the way you need to experience these films. What a stellar, outstanding job by Shout Studios and Scream Factory. 9.5, a must buy. Make sure to start the conversation down below. Let me know if you've ever seen these films. Let me know if you're excited for this set now that you've heard my review score. and you've seen the quality of these. Now that you've gotten to see the differences between these and the previous poor Blu-rays, how excited are you to experience these now in these really outstanding 4K releases? Start that conversation down there below. I always love to hear from all of you, so let me know about any of these in this massive review video. Took me a ton of time to put this one together. I'm telling you, I've been working on this for over a week to get all the testing, analysis, and then to get all of this compiled together and created so that you can watch this video. Let me know how excited you are, what you're excited from this review. Let me know which of these titles you're excited to buy. If you're gonna buy Ring and add it to your collection now, make sure to use that direct Amazon sale link down there below. As I said, those are very important. That's the only way I can continue to create all of these comparison reviews. Next up, we have the 2019 Child's Play reboot, basically remake. It's kind of more a reboot in sense of it started a whole new basically idea behind it, taking tropes from the previous Child's Play and incorporating them in a new way. I will tell you, this is one of those films that I did actually enjoy the reboot remake. It's not obviously the same as the original one. I do think the original one's the best, but I will tell you, I enjoyed this one. And if you take it as its own thing, as its own new thing, it's got a lot to offer in it, and it's a pretty darn enjoyable horror film. Now, for this new 4K release, I can tell you it is a native 4K 2160p, and it was created from a brand new 4K restoration of its original master. And it has a brand new Dolby Vision and HDR10 master. I can tell you the HDR10 and Dolby Vision are implemented very well in this. On the original Blu-ray release, it was harder to see some of it. It was a darker image in a lot of scenes. It was very difficult to see a lot of areas of where you just kind of would see things coming out of the darkness, but you couldn't see anything around them. It was just overall, the previous Blu-ray release was very, very dark. Thankfully, this still has the creepy horror effect to it, but you can actually see things that were intended to be seen. It's not so dark where it had black or gray crush that was present in the previous Blu-ray release. The Dolby Vision and HDR10 implementation was done very well, where it gives you brilliant whites and inky blacks without going into any black crush area or gray crush like the previous Blu-ray was. Overall, that is one of the biggest improvements. On top of the new restoration they did for this, it does have a very nice implementation of Dolby Vision and HDR10. And I can tell you, between the Dolby Vision and HDR10, there was only about a 5% variance. It wasn't as big as some have been, but this one was about a 5% difference you could notice. It's noticeable if you're looking for it, but honestly, both HDR10 and Dolby Vision were both very nice presentation. I will tell you, because of the new 4K restoration they did, it did bring to life tons of depth and detail in this that I'd never seen on the previous Blu-ray release. You can see hairs and clothes and details on their faces that honestly were completely missing on the previous Blu-ray transfer. You couldn't see much of them at all. I was surprised at how much depth and detail really was brought to life on this new 4K release. And it will really surprise you with that depth and detail, the Dolby Vision, the HDR10, really the amount of immersion you feel into the film, more so than you did on the previous Blu-ray, because all of those things really added an element that you feel like you're really just right there looking at it with your own eyes, as opposed to watching through a screen that basically you can't see as much and can't see as much detail. It really does feel more like you're seeing this with your own eyes in person, which is what I'm looking for. It gives you so much more depth to that image that you really feel like it's something that you could be there experiencing yourself. Now, on this 4K, you do get an English DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 audio mix. It's very clean, it's very clear, it has very good LFE. I will tell you though, it is very similar to the previous Blu-ray release's audio mix. I really couldn't tell a whole lot difference between the two. The previous audio mix was very good, and it's very good on this. So you didn't get a downgrade, it's just more or less the same. The difference is what you're getting massive image quality wise. Now, showing what you get in this, you do get this collector's edition, limited edition slipcover that matches all the other Child's Play releases. It does go along very well with them. It says Child's Play on the side here. Talks about it on the back. You do obviously get behind the scenes audio commentaries with the director. You get obviously making of Child's Play, bringing Child's Play to life, soundtrack trailer, playmations, gallery, theatrical trailers, and behind the scenes. A lot of special features included in this, some of them that were not included on the previous Blu-ray release. Now, when you get inside here, you get your 4K disc and your Blu-ray disc. I will tell you, your Blu-ray is 100% Region A locked. I did test it as I always do. 4K disc is 100% region free. Now, I did dive into and test out the rough average bitrate. I can tell you this has an extremely high, healthy, and strong 98 megabits per second. Another wow experience. Shout Studios Scream Factory knocking it out of the park with the rough average bit rates lately. I was shocked and surprised at how high the Ring collection was, and Child's Play. What a great job they did with it, which is why depth and detail is so pronounced. You can see so much in this that you couldn't see on the previous Blu-ray transfer. Now, getting to my review score. For the remake reboot Child's Play from 2019, this gets an excellent 9.4. It's a must-buy. You need to buy and have in your collection. That from beginning to end, you'll really be amazed at how high of a rough average bitrate it has and how much you can see with the depth and detail in the image. It is one of those enjoyable and good reboot remakes that you really need to give a chance to, because a lot of people didn't give this one a chance. If you look at it as its own thing, as kind of its own universe, not trying to play into the other ones, man, there is a lot to really enjoy out of this one. And to be honest with you, if you haven't checked out like Megan, I did that full analysis and comparison review here on this channel. That's available right now. I always thought of Megan as kind of trying to play off of the idea of what Child's Play started originally back in the 80s. And Megan was kind of a more modern reboot. Some people call it like the beginning of the Terminator. And I can kind of see that too, kind of the beginning of the Terminator robots type thing. But Megan's another one that's really good. If you haven't checked out that review, it's available right now on this channel. It's another really good horror, like sci-fi thriller. I do feel like this version of Child's Play, though, goes in more of a sci-fi direction, which is why I said I don't want to give it all away, but that's why I think of it as its own thing. The sci-fi elements of it, I really enjoy. It's a great time. I think it's a very good film that holds up well. If you enjoy Megan at all, you gotta check Child's Play out, this reboot remake, because you'll enjoy this one as well. But this gets an excellent 9.4 and is a must buy you need to have in your collection. What a great 4K release that I really did enjoy. Next up, we have the 2002 film K-19 The Widowmaker by the director Catherine Bigelow. I will tell you, this is one of those films that has grown to where I've liked it more and more as the years have gone on. Originally, when I saw it in cinemas, I thought it was okay, but I really didn't get into the characters and the story until I started researching more about it, and I really got to where I really enjoyed the whole aspect of what they did with this film. And I've watched it numerous times since, and it is one of those films, if you've only ever seen it once, you do need to experience it more than once. Now, originally it did come out on Blu-ray. I will tell you, the Blu-ray has since gone out of print. It's extremely expensive and extremely hard to find because it hasn't been printed in a very long time. Now, I can tell you on the previous Blu-ray, it was a soft transfer. It had lots of things, like there was issues with digital noise, some blocking, and overall the image was just not amazing. It was, in my opinion, one of those poor Blu-ray transfers that it was just the best that existed at the time. Thankfully, though, we're not stuck with the previous Blu-ray transfer, because for this new native 4K 2160p, they did a brand new 4K scan of the original camera negative with a brand new Dolby Vision and HDR10 master. And I'm happy to report this does have a nice natural layer of film grain present in it from beginning to end. Though the film grain does have some inconsistencies and fluctuations throughout it, and I will tell you there are some very brief and minor scenes that do have some digital noise that causes some slight blocking and clumping with the film grain, but it's very brief, and I'm being extra nitpicky on it, as I always am for all of you. Overall, though, the film grain does have a nice filmic appearance from beginning to end. But this is where something will really stand out to you the second you put in K-19, is the depth and detail that is present in this image absolutely annihilates the previous Blu-ray transfer. Honestly, the previous Blu-ray transfer looks horribly poor in comparison to what you can see with depth and detail that is present in this native 4K transfer. But here's where there is something else I discovered through my testing. The Dolby Vision is almost a full 10% better looking color tones, color variances than the HDR10. Now, I will say HDR10 still is a massive upgrade, obviously over the poor Blu-ray transfer, but if you're going to watch it, my preferred version to watch by far was the Dolby Vision. When I compared the two of them, Dolby Vision did have an easy 10% better looking overall to it, and that's the one I would recommend. Now, for this release, it does come with an English DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 audio mix. It's very clean and crisp sounding. I will tell you it has good range. The only thing I encountered when I went through testing this is there is a few softer sounding scenes where I did have to turn it up roughly 3 notches louder than I normally do, and then it would get to a loud scene and I'd turn it back down. And there was only a few of those throughout the entire film. Otherwise, it was a very enjoyable listening experience. Now, touching on the film here for a minute, it is one of those underrated performances by both Liam Neeson and Harrison Ford. I do think they are both very good in this film. It's based on a true story. It's about an actual submarine with nuclear weapons on it. And basically there's some things that happen. I don't want to give the whole story away, but basically some malfunctions happen on the submarine. And it's how the decisions of the captain and its crew and what affects all of their lives and the decisions they have to make during a time when basically, like I said, the Cold War, everybody was worried it was the end of the world, that everybody was going to start shooting nukes off. It's very tense. It's got some very good acting and writing in it. Overall, it's one of those films that, as I said previously, I've really enjoyed watching numerous times as I've gotten older. And I do think the more I watch it, the more I enjoy the film and the performances themselves. Now, showing what you get in this, it does come with a collector's edition, limited edition slipcover. This is only in the first printings, and then they will sell out, and then they will come without the slipcover later on. On the side, it does say number 157 from the Shout Selects line. Then on the back, it talks about it. Now, you do obviously get your 4K disc and your Blu-ray disc. It does have audio commentaries, the making of K-19 Widowmaker, 3 featurettes, theatrical trailers. Those are all your special features included in this. And I will tell you, you're not missing any special features from the previous Blu-ray release. They are all included in this set. Now, when you get inside here, you do get your Blu-ray disc and your 4K disc. I did test both of these. Blu-ray disc is 100% region A locked. 4K disc, 100% region free. So if you're wanting to import this outside of the US, I put that direct Amazon sale link right down there below that ships anywhere worldwide. Now, I did dive into and test out the rough average bitrate for all of you. I'm happy to report this has a high, healthy, and strong 72 megabits per second. Lends to why the image is so nicely filmic and depth and detail is there present from beginning to end of this 4K release. Now, getting to my review score for K-19 The Widowmaker on 4K in this collector's edition set, this gets a terrific 9.1. It's a must buy, you need to buy and have in your collection. I definitely recommend experiencing this film all over again, even if you've seen it originally, because I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it going back and watching it again since the times I watched it on Blu-ray and in cinemas originally. It's a very enjoyable film, and I do think compared to a lot of films that come out nowadays, a lot of these films from the past really do blow away a lot of just kind of the junk we get in cinemas now. I will say we've gotten some good ones recently, you know, like I'm looking at Oppenheimer and I'm looking at Dune 2, and then we've gotten some good ones, but we used to get tons of them all the time, and we didn't realize how many amazing films we had at the time because we were spoiled by the acting, the writing, the directing. I mean, honestly, the cinematography, there's some pretty cool scenes in this as well that just kind of give you a sense of scope and epicness. 9.1 is a must buy. You need to buy this and add this to your collection. Keep in mind, slipcovers limited edition. Once these slipcovers sell out, they won't come with them in the future. So if you're a slipcover collector like me, you'll want to go down and make sure you order it through that link down there as soon as you're able to. Now, if you want some recommendations of some really good Harrison Ford films you should check out, you'll want to check out like The Fugitive. I recently reviewed that here on this channel. That is an amazing 4K release and a really good Harrison Ford film. Then you have things like Witness. That's another really good stone cold classic of Harrison Ford's. That's a really good thriller. If you haven't checked out that 4K release, that's a really good release as well. But Harrison Ford is getting a lot of love on 4K lately, and I'm really excited about it because he has some really good films, and it's great that we're finally getting to own them in the best quality ever on these 4K releases. Next up, we have the 1974 Phase 4 sci-fi, kind of almost psychological thriller film. It is one of those films you have to think about when you're watching it. There's numerous aspects of it. You almost go back and watch it again because the cinematography in it is very unique, especially for a film from 1974. I will tell you for this 4K release, it is a native 4K 2160p, and it was created from a brand new 4K scan and restoration of the original 35mm camera negative. And it does have a brand new HDR10 master on it. Now, talking about the image itself, it does have a heavier film grain presence. I will say, The film grain is very inconsistent. It does have clumping, blocking. It does have some issues where you'll notice digital noise slightly mixed with the film grain, which gives it a blocking appearance. It's not a perfect transfer. I will say, as far as the film goes itself though, on previous home video releases, it's never been amazing before. So it's always had issues on previous home video releases. This is an upgrade and does blow away those previous home video releases image quality and sound quality, but you need to go into it with the understanding, audio quality wise, you get an English DTS HD Master Audio 2.0 mono mix. It is a softer audio mix and it does have slight hissing throughout it that shows more present in softer scenes where you can hear the hissing a little bit more. The audio mix is not perfect either, and it never really has been on any of their previous home video releases. You just have to go into it understanding it's an uneven viewing experience. Now, show what you get in this limited edition set. It does come with reversible artwork. It says Phase 4 with the ants on here. Now, on the side here, it does say the title of the film. On the back here, it does talk about it. You do get the theatrical cut of the film on the 4K disc. Then you get another second Blu-ray. It has all the contents of the 4K disc included on a Blu-ray. Then you also get another Blu-ray, which is your third disc, and that has alternate cuts of the film on it. Now, I will tell you, there is some things where there's a scene that's missing from the alternate cut that it's basically not been available for them to actually include. So it just kind of has a brief black blip for a scene that's basically not available when they created this. Other than that, I will say it's one of those that I've only ever seen the theatrical cut, so it wasn't one of those that I really felt like I was missing much, because I guess I've never seen the alternate cut anyway. So as far as that goes though, it is included on here and a massive amount of special features. I will tell you, this has more special features than I've ever seen for this film ever before on home video. There's Blu-ray releases, and none of them contain the massive amount of special features that both Vinegar Syndrome and Paramount provided. Now, inside here, you do get this limited edition booklet, and I do like that. You do get your Blu-ray disc, your second Blu-ray. Both of them are 100% Region A locked. I tested them. So you are Region A locked for your Blu-rays. Your 4K disc, though, is thankfully 100% region free. Your limited edition booklet here is storyboards from the film. It's different artwork showing the storyboards of how they storyboarded the film out. I do like getting little things like this in these limited edition sets. They're nice little touches. And this is your reversible artwork. I do like the reversible artwork a whole lot. I will tell you, I dived into and tested out the rough average bitrate for all of you as well. And this has a high, healthy, and extremely strong 90 megabits per second. They did an outstanding job not overcompressing it, giving it plenty of room to breathe, which it does lend to that. It's just the original film elements have never been treated amazingly well. It's not one of those films that just honestly has ever looked absolutely outstanding. This is the best way I've seen it ever look on home video. So getting to my review score, for Phase 4 on 4K Ultra HD, this gets a 7.9. It's enjoyable. I enjoy the film. I enjoy what they did with the restoration. You just have to go into it comparing audio, visual, and all of that combined together. That's what you're coming out to as a 7.9. It's one I recommend if you like 70s sci-fi films. It's definitely a pretty cool one to check out, especially in this limited edition set. A lot of these limited edition sets I really enjoy owning because there are films that are more obscure sci-fi elements. There's something that's fun to experience. If you haven't experienced this one yet, this is the best way to experience it. Just understand going into it, it does have those issues with it that have always been present. This is the best way it's ever looked, and 7.9 is still recommended to check out because honestly, I'm amazed we even got this with a 4K restoration, because it's one of those films I never ever thought we'd ever even see on 4K. I mean, let's be honest. Did you really ever think Phase 4 would ever make it with a 4K restoration on a 4K? I sure didn't. Now, if you want another recommendation of a great 70s sci-fi classic, you want to check out my 4K versus 4K double dip video. I did an exclusive 4K versus 4K image comparison of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I love that classic sci-fi film. I really do feel like it's got a really good feel to it. That's available right now in two separate 4K editions with two different 4K releases and transfers. And I will tell you, I compared them both in that video. If you have not checked out that video, I compared numerous 4K versus 4Ks to show you which one comes out the winner. But that's available right now on this channel as well. Next up, we have the sequel, the Roundup No Way Out. I will tell you, this is one of those kind of like fighting, action, cop, comedy, thriller movies. It's basically about a detective, Don Lee's character, And he basically is going up against the Yakuza, and he's searching out a mystery with drugs and murder and trying to figure everything out. There's some good one-liners. It's got comedic beats in it that are really fun, and it's got a lot of like fighting in it. I mean, it's got over-the-top fighting, and it's very entertaining. I'm not going to say it's my favorite film I've ever watched, but I will tell you I did have a pretty dang good time checking this out. Now, the film did come out in 2023, and I will tell you for this 4K release, it is a native 4K 2160p, and it does have HDR10 on it, and it looks pretty darn immaculate and pristine in its image presentation. Because it's a modern film, the way that they filmed this, it has very nice depth and detail in the image, but it presents one of those just very clean, modern, pristine looking overall transfers. You sit there from beginning to end, there wasn't really anything I could nitpick about it and say that it had issues. Now, I will tell you, audio-wise, you get both an English and Korean DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 audio mix and English and Korean subtitles. So you can choose and mix and match whatever you want. I did listen to it with the English dub, and then you can have the English subtitles if you want to listen to it in the original Korean. That's up to you. All of the options are available on this. Now, show what you get in this. This does come in a limited collector's edition media book. So these are limited edition sets. They will eventually sell out. They only print them for so long. It does come in this nice media book. It does have obviously the J card here. This is the English release here in the US that's coming out. It does come out here in about 2 weeks. I did get it in early for review. It does have a Blu-ray in here along with your 4K. I will tell you your 4K is 100% region free. Now, when you get inside here, this is your 4K disc. It is a BD100 on here. You do get the book in here. It talks about the film. It's all in English, so you can read everything with pictures in it. I will warn you though, the book does come out pretty easily. Mine actually ripped out just now when I was showing you guys the book. It just kind of fell out. But now I did dive into the rough average bitrate for all of you, and this does have a healthy and strong rough average bitrate of 68 megabits per second. It does lend to why it has a very nice image throughout it, and it is one of those just fast-paced action-adventure kind of cop mystery films that I really can't say there was anything I disliked. It was enjoyable from beginning to end and just a fun time to sit back and watch a film. It's one of those that I haven't seen the first film, so I don't know how this compares to the first one, but I will tell you that now after seeing this one, I would like to check out the first one as well because I did like Don Lee's character and thought it was very enjoyable, his side of things. He's a very big presence. He's a big guy, and I did really think he was fun in the film. Now, getting to my review score. For this limited collector's edition 4K Ultra HD media book release of Roundup No Way Out, this gets a superb 9.1. I really did enjoy it and had an enjoyable time. The image and sound are very good on it. Nitpick wise though, I was disappointed the book just fell out. I mean, it just literally I didn't even rip it. There's no rips. It just kind of fell out. So as far as the media book goes, I do normally like media books and I've never had one fall out before. So that was just a slight nitpicky thing. Otherwise, the transfer and obviously what you get quality-wise on it, it's a very nice release. And it is recommended. If you haven't checked out the film, it is one I'd recommend checking out, especially for this 4K release. The 4K looked drastically better than the Blu-ray. And that's the way I would always want to watch it because honestly, once you see the 4K, you can't go backwards to the Blu-ray. Now, it's very important. If you decide you're going to buy or add any of these 4Ks I tested and reviewed in this video for you, make sure to go down and use those direct Amazon sale links I posted right down there below. Those links down there, simply by clicking on them, shows your support of these videos. It never costs you a penny extra to click on them, but that does help this channel and makes a big difference in me being able to continue doing this for many years to come. So make sure, if you're going to buy or add any of these to your collection, always use those direct Amazon sale links down there below. And if you want to help to support this channel even more, you can always join my Collectors VIP Club. It only costs you, the viewer, a couple of bucks every month, but it drastically goes back into the creation of all these videos. Software, time, computer equipment, camera equipment. It's all expensive and it all takes a ton of money. So that's how I'm able to do this. It's always through you, my viewers and subscribers support, through using those direct Amazon sale links down there below and joining my Collectors VIP Club. I do want to say thank you to every single one of you for your support over the years. I've really been blown away by it. The channel is taking off and we are growing at exponential rates. It's exciting to see, but I always want to make sure all of you know from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate it and thank you. This is something I love doing with all of you, and I hope you enjoy spending the time every week when I provide all these exclusive videos. As always, I truly hope all of you have a blessed day, and I've always got something new early, exclusive, and exciting coming out very soon.